Why am I looking at you?
Good evening, everyone. My name is Frazier. You're welcome to VTNI TV. And my co-presenter is...
My name is Osas.
All right, you're welcome. And today, we're going to be having a communication and interactive section regarding this pandemic that has been going around the globe. And as we all know, this pandemic have started long ago, even before this 2020. This pandemic started long ago in the city of, in the country China, the city of Wuhan in 2019. And this deadly pandemic, which is named coronavirus, have caused a drastic economical meltdown during the country, not just in Europe, but in other African countries and the globe as a whole. And today I'll be leaving this conversation or this forum of discussion to my co-presenter, Osas.
Yeah, thank you very much, Mr. Frazier. I think today we don't have much to talk about other than the present situation at hand, where everyone all around the world, we are all on lockdown, where everybody is expected to stay inside just to prevent yourself from contracting this deadly virus called COVID-19. But today, we'll be looking at what are the government intervention or palliatives to ensure that this lockdown is successfully obeyed by citizens. So in all respect, we'll be specifically talking about various countries all around the world, comparing the developed countries and Africa as a whole as of today. So for now, I want us to work within that area of discussion and be able to analyze how various government officials are working towards ensuring that this lockdown does not cause more harm than good in their societies. So
All right, thank you very much, Osas.
Thank you very much.
All right, thank you so much. All right, right away, we are going to be introducing our guest that we're having on this very live conference interaction center with the VTNI TV. And today we'll be having no other person than Mr. Senior David.
You're welcome.
Mr. Senior David, you're welcome.
You're welcome, Mr. Senior David.
Yeah, thank you very much. Thank you for having me in your studio.
All right, you're welcome, sir. And right away, we're also going to be introducing another political guru, which his name is also Mr. Richard. You're welcome to VTNI platform.
Thank you very much for having me. It's
You're
a pleasure
welcome.
to be here.
You're welcome, Mr. Richard.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
right.
It's a pleasure
All
to
right.
be here.
So regarding the situation that we all are facing globally, I think it's no longer in news that coronavirus have taken much of the activities in the globe. Wherever anyone we've been discussing, what was discussed, the news always flashed up anything about the coronavirus, this deadly epidemic. So if I may ask a question, Senior David, what do you think, or what are the palliative measures you think the government can put this COVID-19, this deadly pandemic, what are the palliative measures that they can they've enforced this lockdown? Much especially, I'll be taking a look at the case of Nigeria. Now, the government in Nigeria, they've placed a lockdown, or they've enforced a lockdown on every citizens in Nigeria for them not to go out. But now we're going to look at the palliative measure which the government have placed on these very citizens. They placed them on lockdown. Now these citizens, they cannot go anywhere. How do you think that the citizens of Nigeria can survive through this very crisis that we are facing? Mr. David, please.
Yeah, thank you very much. Prophet, we know fully well that yes, this virus is real, is out there. You could be able to see the Western world, they are not hiding it from you. Only that letting you know that where it came from, that giving them a specific notice. The army came out and the drastic measure, make a drastic emergency plan. And we see that they have been able to tackle it all because we know that yes, a deadly disease is going out. The number and figure that they have given to us, not only because they are giving us, we have seen it with our eyes that people are dying, some are battled. And now, you know, it escalates, it moves, you understand? Now, if we're talking about Africans, don't forget, when the government take measure here, they take a drastic measure, they make a plan for the people, the indigenous, for the foreigners in the land, everyone living in the land. So we could abide to the rules and regulations because we see what they have done to make a kind of a major provisions for we that are living in this very place. But when you go back to our country, Nigeria, you see, I tell you, the people that say they govern people, even the government as of now, they don't even know what that virus is. They don't even know how it is. Neither do they know how to make a plan or make a drastic measure. Because when they say that when it gets Africa, or when we hit Africa, Africa will suffer more than the people that are there. Because the virus is so deadly to that extent. Africans or African leaders or most of Nigeria don't even know how to create a measure or a plan for the people to abide to the rules and regulations. You can see what is out there today. People are dying out of even outside the coronavirus because they couldn't stay. Government are not making provisions. You can't just say stay at home, you don't make provisions. So I tell you the truth, our government, they have to do better. But I don't blame them because those that are there, they don't have the idea. Because people are supposed to pay. I know the right ones, they could have, before now, they must have known how they found the life or the standard of the people would be before now. Now they must have made a preparation so that the people hearken to their voice. You can't say to me.
Thank you very much, Mr. Senior. Mr. Senior, we've gotten a lot of information from you. We'll still come back to you. We'll come back to you. Thank you for your points. I think another thing we need to note now is that as at Nigeria, I heard the federal government from reliable news that they are giving 20,000 naira to the vulnerable ones in the society. And that is an equivalent of $52. What do you think? Before we go to that now, I'll go to Mr. Richard. 20,000 naira for the vulnerable. First of all, how do they know those that are vulnerable? That is one of the questions. When even the ordinary Nigeria can barely feed on 1 square meal a day, and you are saying you are giving 20,000 naira to each household, how are they going to survive with it? And will this money get to those people it's supposed to get to? Mr. Richard, before we put a call across.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Osas. Yeah, on this issue about the Nigerian government giving 20,000 naira to every city for them to be at home and all through the time of this pandemic, I don't know how true is that, but you know, when I heard the story too, when I got the information, what was going through my mind is how are they going to do this? The vulnerable, talking about the vulnerable. How are they going to reach out to this vulnerable? But we lack proper data.
Exactly.
We don't have information We don't even know those that are working. We don't even know those that are not working. In fact, we don't even know, we do not have an accurate number of how many persons that we have in that country, Nigeria. It is only estimated. So how is the government trying to reach out to the vulnerable with this 20? It's going to be a challenge. I don't even know if they have started it or not. But whatever it is, I think that is going to be a challenge. It's easier in the Western world because they have good data processing system. Once you are in there, the government know how many people that is here. They know those that are working. They know those that are not working. They know the vulnerable. So it's easier to reach out to them. In fact, the structure has even been there even before the pandemic. But in Nigeria, or to say in Africa, it's going to be a tough work, I must say.
Thank you very much.
I started it, but it's going to be a tough work.
Thank you very much.
All right. Thank you so much, Mr. Richard. We just got your information from your very side, and I think you've made your points, and your point is very well stated and noted. But right now, this very situation that we are discussing about concerning the vulnerables in Africa, most especially or specifically in Nigeria, we'll be getting to reach one of or two correspondents in Nigeria just to get to find out if whatever that we have been hearing or we've been talking about, they are all facts.
Thank you very much. And sorry, Mr. Fraser, I think we'll need to go on a very short break so that we'll to refresh ourselves and come back. A very short break.
All right.
We'll be back.
All right, we're going on a short break. I won't come back. We go back to our correspondent all the way from Nigeria. Don't forget, you're still watching the VTNI TV. Thank you.
Okay.
Yes, we're speaking, or we're on to Coral.
Coral, are you there?
All right, I think we are still having a little bit
we lost the call.
problem concerning the network situation in Nigeria. Well, we go over to other questions while we place the call back again to our correspondent in Nigeria. All right, Mr. Senior David.
Yeah.
While we're waiting for our correspondent, I would like to say a word. You know, during the lockdown right now in Africa, in Nigeria precisely, I think they've been enforcing them to stay indoors, and we've gotten so much information that there's so many philanthropists, so many good-minded people. They've contributed to the government to assist the citizens. But all we're hearing, or all we've been saying, that whatever these philanthropists or the good-minded people have contributed to the government, to the federal government, but they have not been having any impact in the life of the citizens. Are we going to be saying that the government are just keeping this income to themselves to make another good reasons, good palliative measures for these citizens, or they are still yet to put this very money that have been set for the citizens into the right sector?
Yeah. Thank you very much, VTN. You have to understand that even the people that call themselves philanthropists, not all of them sincere. Some of them, their foundation is being built on the system of the government. So I tell you the truth. That is why they should roll down to support the government when they know the government before me and you. They know the government more than me and you. So now when we talk about that, talk about that vulnerable, we are talking about an emergency help. We are talking about a special care. We're talking about a protection. We're talking about the support. You know, not even the food alone. There are some people, they are disabled, disabilities. There are some people. So now, do you know the government that when you give this thing, this hate to the government, it get to the people. It has been before. So for me, some people that did it in a way that get this straight to the people.
Sorry, it's like our correspondent is already there online.
I think the correspondent from Nigeria is on.
Is on.
Right.
Over to you, Mr. Sas.
Thank you very much. Please, can we hear from? Is she hearing me, Coral?
She'll just call and cut. So just hold on.
Is she online?
I'm calling her again.
Oh.
Talk to her.
Hello. Hello. Are you there? Hello. I think we're having some network issues there. We just have to move on till the call is clear.
All right, Senior David, sorry for having your conversation being cut. So please, you can go on with your point.
So then we're talking about this, that they have to prevent the risk of abuse, and that is what the government has been doing. They have been abusing their citizens. So for me, it's not right. You take that hate to the government. If look at this very place, have you seen any philanthropists that do such a thing? No, because they know even the government are working. Even if they do, because they trust that the government, they are working in a right or serious direction. Do you understand me? But Nigeria case is not the same. It's different. You can see what is going on today. The money cannot be accountable of. The hate you gave to them cannot be accountable of. You understand? And it's not even getting to the right direction. So that is my contribution. For me, I'm not totally agree with their dealings. Okay.
All right. Thank you very much, Mr. Senior David. I think we lost the other person. He's supposed to connect back again, Mr. Richard. We'll still go on to another very important area. Looking at this lockdown around the world today, do you think there's any possibility of a total disappearance or a quick disappearance of this deadly virus? Do we have hope?
Thank you very much. According to the statistics, according to the plans, it's still going to take a lot of time. Why? Because they're telling me and you that even they're fighting to see how they can get the vaccine, and it will take them a lot of time. And not only that, after getting that vaccine, they're going to test it on an animal.
Okay.
Before, my fear is this. It cannot disappear totally. But we have to still take that same measure. But we that still believe that yes, because of our faith, it will not come near us. It's not. I believe it's still being in the system, but it's a drastic measure we still have to be taking in our closet in whatever things that we are doing. Because I tell you, those that we are affected, they cannot even tell you how they contacted it. They won't tell you. Some of them are surprised that they have it. So for me, if it's going to be clear totally, it's not just now. According to their prediction, some of them are even talking about next year. You understand? So while they are fighting for the solution through the vaccine, the mix of vaccine, then I think we'll still be following them little by little.
Thank you very much.
Please, that would draw me to the attention. As soon as you mentioned that word, the vaccine, that would draw me to the attention of what we are experiencing right about now. Mr. Senior David, I would like to draw your attention to this very angle. Right from this very time, this pandemic, this deadly virus, that have caused so much chaos in the economy and in the world at large. We find that the global leaders, they've been working in unity, in cooperation. I've never seen the entire world working in this kind of cooperation for a very long time. So at this very time, I find that the leaders, they are all united in fighting this very pandemic. But of recent time, I find out that the world leaders, they've agreed, they've come to a compromise for this vaccine, that the only way that this coronavirus can be wiped away is through the vaccine. And almost the entire world leaders have agreed to this very vaccine, but it happens that the United States president, Donald Trump, have refused to also join the world leaders in accepting this vaccine. What's your take on that, Senior David?
Yeah, of a true, why is still rejecting is because it's not clear to him. As of now, you understand that Germany, France, UK, United States of America, they have placed seal on China. So it's only when it is being made clear to them what is the cause, how does it come about, then you can dive into the vaccine. Because why people are saying that if anything like vaccine can be taken to fight against this in the nearest future, is because they know how sicknesses has come to be. Anytime they launch out some certain things, satellite whatsoever, there are some things like this will come. Even the cancer today we are talking about, it is something of which that lead to it. A lot of things. So even there are some sickness that have come to stay. The only way they fight against it is to be vaccinated. So once you're vaccinated, if you have that vaccine, you will be protected. That thing cannot penetrate you, even though it's still on the air. It cannot penetrate you. So if this vaccine, it is of that kind, then automatically one will say, okay. But if it is another kind of mission, which is not clear, I believe I stand in that faith of that, or stand of Donald Trump, that is against that vaccine, until they have to know what is the real cause of what they are facing today.
Thank you very much.
So that vaccine for me, for now, is not welcome.
Thank you very much, Senior David. Mr. Richard, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here. Thanks.
Okay, we'll all listen to this now. So this question is directed to you. In recent news, VT and I happened to see, we saw one of the government officials in China, after the government of America said China knew very much about, they know enough about this coronavirus. That's why they call it the CCP virus. It's like a party in governance in China. And they are saying they want to investigate the cause, the origin of this virus. They have tried to send lab scientists from around the world. They send people to China to see how they can do it. But China is blocking all their efforts to get down to the origin of this virus. And we all know that before one can solve a problem, we have to get to the root of that problem. You cannot solve a problem from the top. But China is refusing. But what the government officials said was that the HIV that came years ago, they said it's from America. Did anybody investigate the HIV, where it came from? But why is the world not interested in investigating the coronavirus? So in your own view, do you think China has something to do with this virus, or have something underneath their carpet that they are trying to cover up from the world so that the world wouldn't be able to find out?
Yeah, on my own view, I know everybody will have their own opinion on this issue, okay? But on my own view, I think China, they have something that they are covering up. Because first of all, when this virus started, they hid it. They did not transfer the information to the world on time. That was first. Then secondly, because of the virus, they say it was from a market in Wuhan.
A wet market.
And then, animal to animal, but over time we have understood that it wasn't from that animal. So that is another lie. So what they intend to achieve by the cause of this virus is what is not yet clear to the world today. Some people assume that China knows what they are doing. They want to use it to collapse the economic of other worlds, so that the other nations, so that the nation would depend on them. Other nations would depend on them. And talking about vaccine, vaccine doesn't come out in 1 month, 2 months, in 1 year. Vaccine take proper 2 years for a vaccine to come out. Okay, if this virus, if we cannot contain this virus, how for the period of 2 years, do you know how many people that will die? Now I'm thinking, if somebody, normally I know how scientists, if they produce something, they also produce an antidote for that thing, so that in case if they are having an issue, they can use the antidote against on it. Let's assume China produced this thing. Probably they should have also provided have gotten the vaccine before now, because today now,
Mr. Richard, don't you think they are trying to buy time? Since you said a vaccine is supposed to take 1 year or 2 years, don't you think China is also using trick to delay that their own vaccine? Maybe they have the vaccine, but they are delaying it to that time so that people will say it's the true thing.
That is what I'm saying. That is what I'm saying. They are, but even at that, this is something that came out in China. We saw people dying on the street, people walking on the road, they are dying, and within a short and even the hospital, everything that everybody has gone back to its normal business. And come to Europe here, the thing is killing people so much. What is it? What is the secret? What is happening? And until today, why is it like that? How do they contain it? Do they have a drug? And yet they say there's no drug, there's no vaccine. But how do they do it? How were they able to treat the infected patients that they have? How were they able to do it? If they have a way to treat those infected patients, they should communicate that to the world, so that the world will use the same format to treat other people. It will not be a dreaded thing again. Remember in the years back, I don't know what they call it, but I don't know if the English word is Apollo. Apollo was like a virus.
Polio.
No, Apollo that affected the eyes.
Okay, yes. I think they had something.
Like they say it comes from the moon. People that went to moon and they brought it down to earth, and the thing was, it was dreaded at then. But today now is no more that kind of thing, because we have the cure to it. So what I'm trying to say is that I think there is more to this in China than what we are seeing.
All right, Mr. Richard, a quick one. Do you think when the China people are saying that they're able to handle the coronavirus in their own town, in their own country, don't you think that is a propaganda, or do you believe that is fact, that they've been able to condole it, they've been able to manage it?
First of all, the virus started in Wuhan, but Wuhan is not the only city in China. But we realized that all the information we gotten is that we never got the information that the thing is in Shanghai or other cities in China. We only got information that the thing is in Wuhan. Why is it that this virus did not spread over other parts of China? Instead, the thing spread down to Europe, in Africa, in America.
Okay.
Right,
please let me just give one.
Watching the video. Okay. You're still watching the video on ITV. I think we just lost the voice of Mr. Richard while he was giving his point. But notwithstanding, we'll be going on a short break. And once we come back, we'll be having our correspondent from Nigeria and our second correspondent from Italy as well. Stay tuned.
Stay tuned. Thank you.
ITV. Thank you.
Hello, Cora. I think with the present situation in Nigeria now, I just want to confirm something. How has the situation been like so far? From our information, we got information that 20,000 naira is being sent out to vulnerable Nigerians. Is that true?
Yeah, that's what we heard, but we've not seen anything.
Have you received anything?
But not being implemented.
That is a political language, so it needs to be implemented too, even when we are under a serious problem. So they have to implement it before the money can be sent out.
We don't know what was really happening. We heard it's been shared in the news. We don't know how true that is. But we haven't seen anything. That's just the plain truth. We haven't gotten anything yet.
Okay.
All right,
Okay.
All right, Cora, I would like to ask you a question. I've heard about this lockdown that the government in Nigeria have placed lockdown in, I think, most states, Lagos State, Abuja, and Ogun State. I think the rest, the rest other governors, they're also doing the same thing. But what I want to ask is this. This time of lockdown in Nigeria, how do you think the citizens of Nigeria can cope? Because I find it that most Nigerians, they do their daily living, they do survive by their daily living.
Yeah, you're right.
So,
okay, I'll say the plain
how are
truth.
Nigerians coping at this situation?
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes.
Hello?
Yes, we can hear you.
Hello?
We can hear you.
Okay.
We can hear
I'll
you.
say our government, they like copy and paste. I'll use the word, they like copy and paste. They saw what is being done in the Western world and they wanted to do it here, but they did not find out what the what formula or what they did to be able to do that, to achieve that. So they're just putting it on the citizens that there's a total lockdown without proper or adequate preparations. You get a lot of persons. It is they survive by their daily ends meal and they are home. People are suffering. Like one of the cleaners in my office, he told me that he's fed up because he has not been able to feed his family. So the citizens are actually suffering due to this lockdown because the government is not actually doing anything.
All right, but at this very point in time, Cora, we had an information very clearly that some of the banks in Nigeria, some of the well-to-do banks in Nigeria, they've been able to support the federal government to assist every citizens in Nigeria. Is that true?
Yeah. Yes, so we heard, and yes, that's true.
All right, but right about now, none of the citizens is getting any benefit from whatever the banks or the good-minded people have donated.
I haven't seen anybody who has gotten the money they were supposed to give to the citizens. I haven't seen. The only one I heard or saw, it was on the news, whereby they were giving them cash at hand, that they were giving them cash and snapping them. So we don't really understand in this era if that's the kind of life they want to subject us to. If you're giving somebody money and snapping the person for reference purposes, I don't know. We've not gotten anything.
All right. Thank you so much for having you on the VTNI TV.
Thank you very much, Cora.
I think subsequently we'll still get back to you, Cora.
It's fine, no problem.
All right. Thank you.
I look for another idea, but I don't blame them because I have said it earlier before that the people that are there, you know, they are not capable, don't have the foresight. They don't even know what is happening out there. You understand? Okay, now, when the Western world said that when this issue, they are only afraid of Africa. They are not even talking about the virus itself. They are talking about the control. They are talking about the measure which need to be implemented. That is their fear. Look at today. The distances cannot is not implemented. People are still violating the social distance. People are going out there because they are hungry. So the problem, and government could not give them money. Now the money is easy. It's too easy, but why they cannot do it? They are still poor. It's very far away, very far away. As I'm talking to you, you see here, we can difference. It's too broad, it's too large. But it's a sad thing for me to witness this in this era, that they are not giving money and snapping when they can receive their money in their accounts. We have saw video, someone is going to the bank to get his money. Police stop him, molest the man. You understand? People they have killed in this process of locking down is more than those that they have recorded that the virus have killed. Which, if it is true, so Nigeria, I tell you the truth, they are in great mess.
Okay, thank you very much. Thank you very much.
They cannot handle the situation.
Thank you very much, Mr. Senior David. In recent times, we are still on the same issue at hand. I don't know if two of our correspondents who are here now, two of my, Mr. Richard and Mr. David, I don't know if you people are aware or you have seen any reports, because from us we have seen reports of some group of young boys aged from within 18 or 20 years down to 30. They were able to, boys and even girls, they came together to form what they call the 1 Million Boys Gang. I don't know if you are conversant with it. They go around, people molest them, they maim people, they collect their belongings, all of that. In this kind of situation of lockdown, and here is a country where we say we spend and we allocate, they assume they have allocated billions of naira to security. And apart from security, we all know that a country that is hungry is difficult to manage the security of any country that is hungry, when the citizens are hungry. So what do you have to say about this 1 Million Boys Gang that are terrorizing innocent people in this country as at this time, in Nigeria as at this time?
Thank you, my brother. Yeah, first of all, I want to commend the lady that just spoke concerning the situation in Nigeria. She gave a very vital point when she talks about that she wants to use the word in quote, that what we do in Nigeria, what our government do is copy and paste. And actually, I like the way she used that word because I said it earlier. I said we do not have the structure. Country-made structures. These are structures that should have been made even before today. So at the time like this, we shouldn't be. It's not time that we're going to be giving somebody money and you're going to snap, take a photo of it. We want to put it in social media to justify that the government has done one. Those are propaganda. But let me just deviate from that point and go to the question that you're asking. My take on it, I've never met one of them. I do not know, but just the way you read it on, you heard the news, so I heard it. But my take on it is the fact that everything boils down to poverty. There is something they say, and they say a hungry man is an angry man.
Yes.
Now, one is hungry, and he is hungry is one thing. Then he's now locked down. You put him on lock is another thing. So you're going to bring out the beast out of that person. You see, Nigeria is a kind of unique and a sensitive country together in the sense that if you don't, there are things that if they are not well tackled well, it will cause a new arising of new group. Check it over the years. When there is this group, they have been dealing with this group, another group will come up, another group dealing with this, another one comes up, and now we are dealing with the group called 1 million gang. And this gang are terrorizing everywhere. But my take is this. I think it's as a result of the government not putting the right structure in place. Structure, I mean, not just about palliative or money, but the right structure in terms of security, in terms of health, in terms of education, in terms of social amenities, in terms of social welfare, in terms of empowering our policemen very well and make them understand their duty as a police officer, not being on the road and looking for 1 naira, 2 naira to take from them.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. We'll come back to you. Mr. Senior David, do you have any take on that too? Just in just few minutes. Any take on the 1 Million Boys Gang?
Yeah, thank you very much. You know, there are what they call rumor. Things are happening. There are things they call rumors. And now, me and you know fully well that the 1 million gang is not rumor. So, before, if not the help of this advancement, we will not be seeing them direct when they is taking place. Some of us, we happen to see them while this thing is going on. So, we know they are not waiting for the whatever, or before the government will say, shut it, or release the news, or don't release the news. So, that is part of the failed system that you know, it. You know, I tell you the truth. When we talk about this security, it's a clear idea. It's an idea. There are people that have high knowledge, gifted, that can put 1 or 2 things in place. I said, listen, if you do it this way, we can be able to have a result. For those people, they push them aside. How would they be able to tackle it? They couldn't tackle it because it's something that generates. Here we are there. Every year they look for a new idea. There is a place they sit down together and share ideas together. And these people that have come out from their closet, government will not let them go back home empty-handed. They must catch something from them and implement it and see that the country is moving forward. So that is what is happening. The 1 million boys is real. Of the truth, they have been before, but the government has failed in security measure. That is why you see they have not been able to smoke them out. You understand?
All right, thank you so much, Senior David. Thank you for your contribution. I think the 1 million gang boys, they've done more harm than good, as at this very present time in this lockdown, the crisis of coronavirus, the COVID-19. Well, before we had our correspondent, we were discussing on the healthcare resources and how the government have been managing it. And for me, I think my question that I'm going to throw to you, Mr. Senior David, and our co-guest, Mr. Richard. Now that the government, the federal government, and the leaders of Nigeria, they have seen this very pandemic that's eaten so much in the Western world, and as such, to the level that they've placed a ban. It's like a worldwide ban for incoming of foreigners, outgoing of foreigners to other countries. And this time now, everyone is battling with their own citizens and with the patients of the coronavirus. Being that Nigeria have the faith in their medical status, they've faith in doing their research very well. Do you think that after this very coronavirus, do you think the president and other well-to-do leaders in Nigeria, they can put up a good structure, a good facility when it comes to our medical centers?
For me, I remember vividly when Donald Trump, as a kind of expatriate, they are when it comes to health system, healthcare. When they begin to see the large numbers of people dying, they said, no, China is not giving us the true numbers. Because the death rate is uncomparable compared to what they gave to them, because they know who they are. They are expatriates. And now, they couldn't. People are dying like chicken. So, now, that is why they warn the rest of the world that lock something you used to play. Now, if you check about Nigeria health sector, it's a total mess. Me and you know this thing before now. As I'm talking to you, I'm sorry to announce to you, I lost one of my cousins. You understand? Last week here, he's just 40 years old. Why? Because when they rush him to hospital, they told them that because it's a lockdown, they should take him home and there will be minister treatment at home. Now, this guy is no more. It's no more. Why? Because they don't have the system. They don't even know what they are doing. Yeah, they are battling coronavirus. They are still attending to emergency cases. There are cases they know they can address from home, but there are cases they know they cannot address from home. You need emergency care. You understand? So these are what we call health system. So no matter, it's not about having the materials. It's all about knowing what to do with the materials. So the problem Nigeria is going through right now, I tell you the truth, this pandemic will bring what they call revolution they fail to attend to. Revolution, they don't even know what is revolution. They think revolution is blood and all these things. No, revolution is to say, no, I don't want this thing anymore. You reject their system. So I tell you, after this pandemic, this system, if it continues like this, worse than this will happen. Worse than this will happen. So it's not all about what the equipment, their setup, whatever they are put in place. It's knowing the people that can do what is right.
All right, thank you very much. So I think we'll go on a very short break. We'll come back over to Richard to continue from where you stop. We'll go on a short break right now. Thanks for watching VTN. Stay tuned.
Can you hear me? That's what I'm asking.
I can hear you. We can hear you.
Okay, I'm moving away from there now. Is it better?
Yeah, better.
Okay. So what's going on?
I believe this Mildred, right?
Yeah, Mildred.
Okay. Thank you very much. Welcome to VTNI Television. Can you hear me?
Okay, thank you. Good evening.
Okay, we are here discussing about the COVID-19 lockdown in your country, in Nigeria now. And I believe you are in Lagos, Nigeria. Okay. You're in Lagos.
No, I'm in River State, Port Harcourt.
So what's going on in River State right now? Can you give us a little briefing about the COVID-19 lockdown?
Yeah. Sorry?
What's going on in River State right now concerning the COVID-19 lockdown?
Okay, everywhere is locked down. No schools, no church activities. All we do is online, and there's a restricted movement. Okay, though it's not a total lockdown per se, but our movements are restricted, and no interstate movement too. No interstate transport. You can't travel outside the state. Like in Nigeria, we have 36 states, so you can travel from state 1 to state 2. So
okay. Okay, so what are the palliatives the government are giving to cushion the effect of people staying at home in River State? The palliative measures, the food items, or what are they doing? The light and all that.
Nothing. It's just some NGOs. It's just some NGOs that and some foundation that's been doing some charity donations and all that. But the government, no, nothing. They've done nothing so far.
Mildred, thank you for coming by VTNI. All right, I want to ask a question. I think in Port Harcourt, are the markets still open?
Yes. No, the markets are closed. The markets are closed. Although you can get some.
All the markets are closed.
Maybe from. Sorry?
The market center, are they still open?
Lockdown. But there are some roadside. Yeah, there are some roadside hawkers. Although the Nigerian police normally chase them, but out of stubbornness and hunger, they'll still come out to trade. Because most people here in Nigeria, if they don't trade, if they don't go out to sell it, they can't feed their family. So it's really devastating here.
All right. Since the market is still running, but how well are they keeping their social distances?
No, everywhere is crowded. Like when you go to, let's say, a street where they sell stuff, but the main market itself is closed. Okay, just outside the market, some vendors, they come out to do some trading.
Okay.
But there's no social distancing here at all.
Thank you very much.
Transport companies that carry few passengers. Just that.
Thank you very much, Mildred. Just one last question, please. One last question, please. When you're staying at home during the COVID-19 lockdown, we're supposed to have light, we're supposed to have water, we're supposed to have the basic amenities that will keep us comfortable. Do you have that in River State?
Okay.
24 hours light and all that?
No constant lights. But there's water. At least we turn our generator, we use our generator to pump water.
That's funny.
But there's no national light.
All right. Thank you so much, Mildred.
You're welcome.
All right. It's nice to have you by.
Okay.
All right. Thank you. I think some other time the Vicky and I will also get in contact with you for more information.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Okay. We can see we are live witness to what is going on. You can see we asked about the basic infrastructure that will make citizens stay at home comfortable without stress, without any issue. There are no internet, there are no water, there's no light. So everybody virtually gives his or herself light through the generator, give you water also to pump from the normal borehole that they have in each houses. I think it's really pathetic. So, Mr. Richard, we're still waiting for your own views. Thank you.
Yeah, talking about the health sector in Nigeria, we know that it's totally messed up. We have leaders that all they think about is their belly. They don't think about the people. And they felt that they have so much money that anytime they have health issue, they can travel to UK, they can travel to India, they can go to US to go to the best hospital outside the country to go and have a proper health care. But they never thought that one day to come to the time where there will be total lockdown and everybody will be in his own country and is going to face the situation that he has created even as the leader in the country. So now today they are facing the reality of what they have done. You talked about the leader say he doesn't know that the health situation in the country is this bad. Yes, because he has been going outside the country to have a proper health care. How would he know? He has not been going to hospital in the country. His wife too has not been going to hospital in the country. His children too have not been going to hospital. How would he know? Of course, he wouldn't know. Is that bad? Okay, now we talk about the chief security officer of the country died out of coronavirus.
The chief of staff. The chief of staff.
The chief of staff.
Yes, to the president.
Recently, if we had a good hospital, maybe he would have still been alive. But because of the situation that they themselves have created, so he become a victim of what he has created too. And is that bad? So this coronavirus, one thing the thing did is to reveal the strength of a country, to reveal the good and the bad part of every nation. I was listening to a sister yesterday, she's in New York, and where the thing was very tense. And she said, the Nigerian girl, she said, we shouldn't pray that this thing gets into Nigeria because we do not have the resources at all. Now, she's a nurse, and she is on the front line. She knows what she's seeing on daily basis. She said we do not have the resources to deal with this thing at all. So you can imagine.
Thank you very much. Mr. Richard.
Thank God for everything.
Thank you very much.
You know, Nigeria, we are very religious people. In everything, we still thank God.
Thank you very much, Mr.
All right,
Richard.
Thank you.
Please, before we leave this very question, Senior David, what would be your advice for the federal government in Nigeria concerning the healthcare and those doing the research? Are you advising those doing the research concerning the healthcare for them to go more on research and for the government to also encourage them more so that they can go on more research?
First of all, my first advice is for them to change their power setup, starting from the number one citizen of the country. And they have to be sincere to themselves. That is the only thing that can set them free. They have to be truthful and know fully well that let those who know what it takes, let them have that, let them have that opportunity, not who you know. Now, let me tell you, the first thing that we give them the ability to make a research or to overcome is light, which is power. This person we just spoke with, she's making us to understand that they don't have light. As I'm talking to you, if this lockdown takes 6 months, you will not receive light bill in your home. You will only receive the bill after the lockdown. To tell you, there are some certain things the government have suspended. They have put on hold. Your taxes, there are some taxes that have been paying. What they call, I don't know, I cannot get the right word now. They suspended it. There are some bills.
You're talking about the Western world.
The Western world. So now, since Nigeria's government don't know this, that for you to say sit home, you must be able to provide these things. So even the health system, even the health setup, they have to have what it costs 24 power electricity, 24 hours without stop. So the thing they will do, let them substitute those that are there. Because that man that said I never knew that Nigeria health system is bad to this extent is because they have not been moving. Why? They are old, they are lazy, they don't even have something austere. So they have to change everything. They need to rebuild. Starting from president to each and every one. That's my advice.
Thank you very much, Mr. Senior David. Do we still have our foreign correspondent from Italy, where the coronavirus the death rate is also high?
Okay, let's check if we can get him online.
All right. So as we wait for our correspondent from Italy, we'll be going on a short break, and as soon as we come, we join back with our correspondent from Italy, and we're still having no other person than our guest on our studio, Mr. David,
and Mr. Richard.
And Mr. Richard. Hello?
Okay, it's already here.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Hello, Mr. Nelson. Is this Nelson on the line?
Yeah. Listen. Good evening.
Can you hear us?
Good evening. Yeah.
Okay.
How are you doing?
Okay. I believe you are from Italy, right?
So what?
You are calling from it. We are calling from Italy.
Yeah, I'm talking from Italy.
What is the situation right now in Italy concerning the management of the COVID-19 lockdown? What is the situation there?
In this moment, we are in progress right now because some office and some other activities is going to take place tomorrow, and compared to last month.
There was a trending video. I don't know if you may have come across it, of somebody from Italy. I think so many of us who are active on social media saw it, where somebody went to withdraw money and said they paid them. Is that true?
So, that one, that guy that made that video,
Yep.
what my own understanding, and this is from the right source, So that video, that guy, the guy is working, The guy is working and he has contract.
Okay.
He is working at the same time he has contract. So the work they are working, they stop many workers, because of this lockdown, they stop many people. So the money they are supposed to pay you for that month, they will pay half of the money. I don't know if you're getting my point. Depending on where you are working. It's not as if maybe the government does begin to put money inside your account and you have to split up for the foreigners. No, it's not like you don't done that.
Okay, Mr. Nelson, from what you're trying to say, that the government give part payment to those that have working contracts, and for those that are in autonomous, which means self-owned business persons, that the government self-owned business person, the government is also helping these people.
Contracts, you are paying tax. I don't know if you're getting my point. Yes, if you are paying tax, you are working and you know paying tax, you have to because it's not everybody that like other countries. It's not everybody you working and you don't have document. You can't be working without document. You get it. So there are a lot of people that.
Thank you so much.
They do normal work. Yeah, you're welcome.
All right, thank you so much. All right, that was our correspondent.
It's already happening. I can tell you, I work in one of the biggest transport service, DL chair, and they are still one of the people that still keep on moving, and even outside the lockdown, they still try to make sure they get to their destination to deliver service and all those things. Yes, many people has been dropped, and our hours has been reduced. So hopefully, with that, because of the lockdown, as things that will be coming, you understand, from another countries, let me say from foreign countries, so you will see that it's going to be some specific type of goods that will be entering. And secondly, because there will not be having international services, the people will lose their job. And because of that, the government will continue to face their bills. So when government could not be able to face their bills, automatically it's going to be a great famine in the land. But I thank God and I believe that, yes, here we are. They have what they call they have made plans for that. But for me, if this can happen to this place or the Western world, African, I tell you, I'm so, in fact, I don't know what to say. It's going to be a disaster. It's going to be a disaster. People will die for the deaths we have seen here. You understand? So that is it, because they themselves will not be able to go out there. So the services will be within. You understand? And they don't even have the facilities to make the product within to circulate or to preserve. You understand? And where would they be getting that money from? So I tell you the truth, it will hit Africa more than as before. So, but it take only good countries that know what they're able to visit with high tickets, which we are failing to have. We don't have it at all.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much for your contribution. Mr. Richard, this is still the same question within the same line. From the news on the newspaper in Nigeria, we have that the Arik airline is already laying off some staffs, and this is just a country where they are just even entering into the pandemic situation, the lockdown situation, compared to other countries that have been in for months. But now, in this kind of situation now, Arik has dropped some staff and sent some on leave without paying them a dime. How do you think they can survive? Don't you think this will lead to increase in crime? We are trying to curb crime. It will lead to increase in crime in Nigeria.
Yeah, thank you very much for that question.
down in the past. Just want to make a comparison. Not like I'm trying to compare Africa with the Western world, but let's look at it in the Western world.
Can you be a little bit audible,
Can you speak
please?
out, please?
Even a cleaner, as yeah, what I mean is that in the Western world, even a cleaner, as you're working as a cleaner, and you're being paid, you're paying your tax out of it. So the moment you have money, just like a standby worker, even though you are not going to work, but it's like a standby worker, but you'll be receiving money equivalent to your salary. They call it paro in Spanish, because you've been paying your tax over time. So when you have issues when you are laid down, you're not working anymore, you'll be receiving that money till you got another job. It's a policy that has been put in place. But in Nigeria, look at it. We don't have those kind of policy. Let me use my in-law as a case study. He has an hotel. As soon as they announced this lockdown, he has like 20 workers working with him. As soon as they announced this lockdown, he didn't even waste time, he sacked all of them. Now, how will these 20 of them survive? He sacked them because as long as they are at home, he has to pay them. And he doesn't have, he cannot pay them while he's not making money.
Are you aware? Sorry to say, one quick one before Mr. Fraser comes in. Are you aware? You just mentioned tax. Even some days ago, someone was saying that Nigerians are expecting to get money from the federal government. That how many Nigerians pay tax? I have worked in Nigeria before. When I was there, I worked in the company before. If you are aware, taxes are removed from your salary. Where does that money goes to? If at the end of the day in this kind of crisis, those taxes are nowhere to be found, then what do we say about the government? So it's a problem that needs to be tackled. They need to readdress it.
Just to add to what you just said, you know, the system of taxation we do in Nigeria is indirect tax. We don't do direct tax. Now, for instance, you are working in an organization, they don't come to tax directly, or you don't go and pay your tax directly.
Exactly.
They take the money in the organization and pay to government through the organization. So you are even paying tax, you do not know that you're even paying tax. You don't even have the tax system. So it's still one of the policies that is not really working. And there's one thing about the system. If the system is not working, I think there's a need to change that system so that it will work. But if the thing is not working, you have to change it. Now, I was sorry to, just before I go, I was on check on internet a musician in America called Cardi B. She said she was saying that she want to go to the government and find out what and collect receipt of all the tax that she has been paying. And because she has been paying tax, she's not saying what they are doing, that she wants a receipt. Just to say, but it's important that we know that we pay tax and we know what to see the effect of our tax.
Exactly.
People pay tax in Nigeria, but we don't pay direct tax, we pay indirect tax. And that's why it's happening like this. Government will just, anybody can take the money and do what he wants to do.
Okay.
All right, thank you so much, Mr. Richard. What I would like to draw our attention to our government. I mean the government in general, the leaders. We saw I saw a video when the chief of staff, Abakari, was being buried. Was being buried. And this very man, being that is a noble person, we all know. And this is the government which have been putting a laws concerning the lockdown that everyone should maintain social distance. And I find that in this very video, I saw so many of these leaders. They were all gathered together, crowding themselves together. Some of them were even trying to even assist those that were on their clothes, put it on so they can so that they can have a befitting burial for this chief of staff. But in that video, I find out that they were not keeping social distance. All of them were they were so close to themselves. Those that were even using the hands to carry the late body of the chief of staff. Those some of them were even using their own bare hands without hand gloves. So, do you think that the Nigerian government, do you think they are very fair enough? Are they fair enough to the citizens? Senior David.
Uh, thank you, brothers. before I before I should answer that question shortly, how when you pay tax, there is what they call a return. How many times do they call each and every workers to come for a return? To have what they call declaration, which we have here. Every year there is a time they call you for a return. Then once you over received, overpaid, you will return to the government. Then when government knew that yes, your taxes, your expenditure, government will return to you. That is not happening because the system is not working into that direction. That is one of the things we're talking about. I'm talking about declaring of assets that they have failed. Each and every entity that are working, they need to know where their tasks are going, their return, they have to have that record. Then they will know that the government is working. So let me leave that. Now, when you talk about the major, because of a burial or a befitting burial, they want to, give to this man. I tell you the truth. All of them are ignorant. They knows nothing. There is no two ways about it. There is no two ways about it. Listen. The only thing that pains me in this issue is this. Those that think that they are educated, now they are being governed by what? Fools. That is a curse in the body of Christ. The Bible says that the people, the people of the king, they are now walking in their barefoot, while the servants, they are now walking in horses. That is what you are seeing in Nigeria. Let me tell you this, gospel truth. People that think that you are not doing it well, they can do it more than you. This is the result of them all. Do you understand? So if you go to the book of Proverbs 21, Proverbs 24:21, it says, beware of people that claim for change. He said, beware of these people. Now that is how this government come to be. They need change. Beware of them. This is said and done. All of them are bunch of rubbish. They have nothing upstairs. So how can those people lead? They can't lead. So they are even harming the people the more, the society the more. That is why the Western world are weeping for Africans, most especially our Libyans. Thank you.
All right. On over to you, Mr. Richard. What's your take on this conversation? Do you think that the federal government, they have been fair enough to the citizens, whereby they ask the citizens to be observing the social distances for them to observe the lockdown, but wherever they have their, like regards to the case of the chief of staff, when they were doing the funeral of the chief of staff, I found out that the people were they were so clumsy, everywhere was so rowdy. Those that were even assisting the cops, they were putting their hands without hand glove. And at the end of the day, they asked all the citizens of Nigeria to be indoors, not to come outside, not to go close to one another. But these are the leaders that have passed this or they have enforced the laws. Don't you think they are breaking the laws, or they are playing a role of being one-sided?
Well, for me, it's not. It doesn't look new to my sight, because in Nigeria, people that breaks the law most are people that are supposed to keep the law. Now you declare a social distance for everybody, and on that very day, everybody came out, and nobody was even no. There is no organization. I'm not saying people cannot come and bury him and sympathize with the family or so, but there should be an organization. It should be well organized, that we see that yes, and everybody knows that he died as a result of COVID-19. And one of the preventive measures given to us by the World Health Organization is that we should have maintained a social distance. But these people intentionally overlook that, and they gather themselves together because of they want to bury.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Just once in a few seconds for the both of you. In a few seconds about the same situation of before we call it a wrap. Before my colleague call it a wrap. The same Abekari. This was somebody that traveled to Germany. He went to Germany to strike a power deal. You came back from Germany. This same person refused to go. You know that Germany also had cases of coronavirus, or people that were coming into the country as at that time were detained and kept on isolation. This same person refused to go on isolation. And you say you are a top government official. This same person went ahead and had meeting with most governors, virtually all the state governors in attendance. The vice president was there, knowing fully well that he is supposed to go on self-isolation. Is that an example of a good leader? Are they showing good examples to citizens?
Brother, I repeat, he don't know.
Yeah.
If he knows, he will go. They will ask after him, he will say, listen, because of the problem that are up there, because of the place I'm coming from, I cannot attend this meeting. I'm under isolation. So I'm even looking forward to see if I can have a test or whatsoever. My brother, he did not know that is where Nigeria is where they are today. Because people that are ruling them, governing them, knows nothing. He knows nothing. Don't tell me he knows. If he knows, he will be there. He don't know. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Mr. Richard, just one quick one. Do you think he has a lot of awareness?
Like you said, he's ignorant.
Then how then the Nigerians or Africans end up making people like that their leaders?
That is a very big question that goes beyond my imagination. Because why I'm saying that, because I don't want to say things that will implicate me in it.
You are afraid. Okay.
It goes beyond my imagination. It's even beyond Nigeria.
Okay.
You go to the Great Britain and ask them how do they interfere in Nigerian politics.
Okay. What we'll be doing now is that I want to have with my colleague. We'll be having some other topic and some other time. We'll be inviting people and even you to discuss these other issues. So let's not digress. So you have to close the.
Please, thank you for having me back, Mr. Oshas. The funniest thing is, if we said let's keep on digging it,
we won't leave.
We'll just keep on digging it and bringing up different subheading and different interaction. All right, but before we go, I would like us to take a look at the transparency regarding the coronavirus in Nigeria as at the moment. Because when we take a look at the transparency in the Western world, you see they're giving us a very lockdown about a lowdown concerning whatever that is going on in different cities, different local cities, provinces, countries, and thereabouts. But when it comes to the issue of Nigeria, I had someone saying most people that the medical healthcare are saying that they've recovered. These persons might not even be suffering from this corona pandemic, which they are claiming that they've just recovered from. So is it that the Nigerian government, they are not being transparent enough?
Thank you. You have to, you know fully well that before now, Nigerians or Nigeria have never been transparent. If my cousin that passed away, if I wish he died in the hospital, they will say he died with coronavirus. They will add him to the numbers they have now. Because of what? They are not transparent. They are still making merchandise on this. I tell you the truth, I will keep on saying it. If it is a country that is transparent, what will stop our president giving feedback every blessed day? Every day you have to see Sanchez online, director. Now, America, Donald Trump, Now you will see Donald Trump beside him. You will see his vice president.
But
And this is what I've been saying.
Mr. David, Mr. David, Mr. David, Mr. David, but they are giving feedback. You saw them. He sent his aide to do that. Is it not the same thing?
No, let me
okay, who did he say?
The minister of health is there. No, they are not there, but they have people they sent. They have the minister of health, NCDC, they are there.
Listen. Sorry. No, his body is in isolation center. Is your president is the Nigerian president in isolation center? No. Is Osinbajo in isolation center? No. If they are not, listen, Donald Trump will stand with each and everyone working, fighting this hate. Once he speak, the vice president will speak, the chief of staff or the head will speak, everyone will, even up to the transporters, they will speak. The company working along with them, how many times have you seen such in Nigeria to tell you that they're not transparent? So who is he sending? Who's supposed to be number one to speak to the people? Is it not the president? Who's supposed to be the second person? Is it not Osinbajo, the vice president, followed by the rest of them? Right, so don't tell me they are not transparent. Yeah, you know that.
Not to cut you short, I think before the announcement from the Federal Republic of Nigeria, which is our amiable president, Honorable Muhammadu Buhari, the president of Nigeria, I think it took a couple of, if I'm not mistaken, couple of months or weeks before it came out openly and made the announcement regarding this pandemic that have been causing so many disasters in the world today. I myself, I don't know why it came out late before it turned up to speak out concerning the pandemic. What do you think happened, Mr. Richard?
Yeah, me too. I thought about what you just said now, but the point is, I want to come from where our Senior David spoke about when he said they are not being transparent. I agree with him in many reasons. Because when you're in the Western country, you see the president comes out and he will talk. And the interesting thing is that they still open room for people to call him and ask him questions. People will call him, citizens will call the president, they will talk. The president will respond to each and everybody that will talk for that duration. But look at our own. The president will just come out and we talk for the first time he came up to talk about it, he made the statement, it was just like 10-minute video. The second time was like 20 or approximately 30 minutes video. And as he finished, he moved. He doesn't care. You cannot interact with your subject. We are not in a military regime that you can just talk and go. You have to open rooms for communication. And if you cannot even do this, let your people that works with you doing that. Create that. We're talking of, say they want to give people 50,000. The president may that they are not even given to people. They must have told me, yeah, they have shared the money. Lai Mohammed came up and he said they have shared.
Okay. Okay, thank you. Thank you very much. Mr. Richard. Mr. Richard, thank you very much. I think we need to be wrapping it up. We need to wrap it up for now. We still have time to talk on it some other time. We can do an episode 2 of this same discussion. But let's just wrap it up so we don't, we allow you guys to do some other thing you need to do. So, but from you now, I just want to say one last word that you have for people who are watching you now. What are the last words that you have for them, Mr. Senior David, before my colleague will wrap it up?
Yeah, I just want my people that are watching out there, Nigeria, or whatever places they are, they should have a rethink, and they have to fight a good cause. They have to fight a good cause, and you don't compromise when it comes to justice. You don't show injustice. So let them, because if they fail to do the right thing, I tell you the truth, things like this will continue to occur. I advise each and everyone out there should fight a good cause. Anyone they know that yes, this one is the right person, they should try to choose wisely, because what we are seeing today is what they call a law of karma. That is law of karma. So I advise them to turn away and do what you should try. Fight a good cause.
Okay.
You will rejoice at last.
Mr. Richard.
All right. Okay, my advice to the viewers: the COVID-19 is real. Stay safe and try to protect yourself. Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much for having you guys on our studio or on online studio, because every one of us, we are also maintaining our social distance. If not, we should be on our own platforms, our studio, having this very conversation. But because of the corona crisis and the observation of social distance, that's why we are having it via online. Thank you for staying tuned, viewers, and you're still watching the BTNI TV, and I'm your favorite host, Frazier, and my co-presenter.
I am Osas, and please endeavor to drop your comments on our comment section and tell us your own views about this topic we just discussed about. And if you want to also, if you feel you are politically inclined, you have more knowledge on this issue, don't just also send us a private message so we know if we can bring you on air too. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you so much. You have a great day.
Thank you, Senior David.
Thank you for having us. All right.
Thank you, Richard.
Thank you very much. It's a pleasure having me here.
Thank you.
Bye. All right, thank you.